Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasmin. I'm the Managing Director of Hire Seniors. So we're an online recruitment platform that's focused on connecting mature adults aged 50 and above to jobs. Our aim is basically to help companies address their resource needs by connecting them to an untapped talent pool of experienced and skilled resources, whilst at the same time providing work opportunities for mature adults to stay mentally active and continue to contribute to the working economy. Now, our service is free for seniors as we charge a recruitment fee to companies only. So we are unique in that our platform specializes purely on the mature market and connecting employers to the experienced talent pool. Secondly, our candidates do not face any age discrimination when applying for jobs, unlike other job platforms out there, as our employers already know and want mature candidates. Thirdly, we provide additional help above and beyond for those who may be unfamiliar with applying for jobs, and we also provide relevant training via some of our corporate and government partnerships. Lastly, we provide employers the benefit of hiring experienced and skilled resources at lower cost with flexibility in terms of work duration and scope. Now, since we started about 3 years ago, we've seen many mature adults choosing to return to work or to continue their work. And there are many reasons for this. Firstly, we're all living longer, healthier lives thanks to medical advancements. With most of us retiring at 60, the typical person still has, another 20 productive years beyond that. So working becomes a viable option to keep our minds active and to contribute back as well. At the same time, you've got technology advancements today that allow us the flexibility of working from anywhere. And for some others, the ability to earn additional income is a benefit as well, which can help maintain their lifestyles or support rising financial costs. Now, from the employer's perspective, there are clear benefits from hiring mature workers. And this is what we tell them. So firstly, you get to benefit from the experience that the seniors bring with them. Many have over 30, 40 years of experience, and they can hit the ground running compared to, say, fresh graduates or younger workers that may need a little bit more training, may lack some of the experience, and may lack a little bit of the maturity. Many mature adults also have established business relationships, and they can, come in and help open doors for new business development. We also tell employers that they're getting value for money. So what do we mean by this? Well, basically, you're getting someone who's worked like 30 years and is worth so much when they retire, who is now willing to do, a smaller job, possibly, that pays less because, you pay based on the job, not based on the person. So therefore, you get value for money. For example, we had someone who was a senior finance manager earning around 20,000 when she retired. And now, when she retired, she came and said, Jasmin, I just want to do payroll. And the payroll job basically paid her 3,000 ringgit. So basically, the company got someone worth 20,000 for 3,000 only. They paid her 3,000 only, and she came with all the work experience and knowledge that the company could tap on. Now, the other benefit is in terms of flexibility. So those who have retired are likely to be able to start immediately, and they don't mind working for short ad hoc periods of time. We just had, we had a company that was looking to hire someone to work for like just 2 weeks in a month during payroll peak periods. Now, a younger person would not want to do this because, they would want income stability, promotions, increments, career path. But for seniors, they don't need all of this, right? They just want to work. And so they do provide companies with that added valuable flexibility. So we broadly have, 3 categories of seniors that are available for companies to hire. Companies could hire seniors as advisors. So these are, typically the retired C-suite guys with very deep experience. They've been there, they've done that. They can come in and advise companies on specific areas of business or specific problems that, companies may be facing. We also have a large pool of middle-level managers and executives with many years of experience. These are the guys that they've been in a particular industry or particular role for so many years. They can come in, they can hit the ground running with minimal training and just get the job done. And lastly, companies could also hire mature adults as general workers or support staff. Now, this does not mean that they don't have all the experience behind them, but rather many of them have chosen to do something simple, less stressful, such as to be a driver or, to care for children. So those are options available as well. So since we started, we have over 6,000 registered candidates, and we have access to around 50,000 more through some of our government and corporate partners. We've also, worked with quite a large number of companies, including MNCs like Unilever, DG, and PwC, as well as local companies like CIMB and Sunway Medical. Our partnerships with the likes of Co-op give us access to retired civil servants, whilst our partnership with Khazanah has helped increase the number of jobs available for seniors through the MyStep program, which has been a great success at getting employers to try out hiring seniors. So we've been asked by many, so how do I go about getting a job? Where do I apply? Do I need a resume? What qualifications do I need? Will I need to attend an interview or not, So you will need most of these, but it's not as hard as it sounds, as long as you are clear on what you want and you remain resilient in your efforts to get a job, as with all things in life. So the first thing you need to do is to consider what you are actually interested to do. What are some of your passions and some of your goals? Then you can consider, your past experience. What experience can you bring to the job? What skills do you have? What certifications do you have as well that could potentially be beneficial to a particular company? So the answer to these questions will help you to narrow down what kind of jobs that you are going to look for and to apply for. Then you need to develop your resume if you haven't already got one. So the ideal resume should be no longer than 2 pages long. It should highlight your key skills and experience, including your contact details for the recruiter to contact you. Now, it's important to note here, most recruiters go through hundreds of resumes and they don't spend more than, a few minutes reading, each one. So therefore, your resume needs to be able to grab their attention. And so how do you do this? Basically, a good practice is to maximize the top 1/3 of your resume with a summary of your key skills and experience that will entice the recruiter to read more. So your goal is to basically grab their attention so that they continue reading, and ideally you want to be shortlisted for the interview. So if you're looking for a guide in terms of how to develop your resume, you can visit our Hire Seniors website at hireseniors.my, where we provide resume writing tips for seniors. So once you've got your resume, you then want to start looking for jobs. You can view the available jobs specifically for mature adults at our website, hireseniors.my. You're free to explore other job platforms as well out there. Just bear in mind that you could face a little bit of age discrimination when you apply for jobs there as well, because you're going to be competing against the younger adults. You can also consider doing up your LinkedIn profile, and then you can apply for jobs through LinkedIn as well. So here's the most important thing when you're applying for a job. Always read the job description very, very carefully. Why? Because you want to be able to pick up the key things that the employer is looking for. So make sure that your resume is able to highlight these skills and experience that the job that you're applying for is looking for. So always adapt your resume to the job requirements, and this increases your chances of being shortlisted for the interview. So when you're ready to apply for the job, you would need to fill up an online application form and attach your resume. Now, if you're applying for a job on Hire Seniors, if you run into any problems, you can just reach out to us and we will help you, upload your application. Also note, a lot of people do ask us, if I've not been told whether I've been accepted for the job or not. So we always say that, typically employers do not inform you if you've not been successful or if you were not shortlisted for the job. This is because typical employers have, too many applicants to contact. So therefore, a rule of thumb is to remember that if you do not hear back from the employer after 1 to 2 months, it's safe to assume that you were not shortlisted. And you just need to keep applying. So the key thing to remember is that you need to be resilient. Don't give up if you were not successful the first time or the second time or the third time. Just keep trying and stay positive. Now, if you are fortunate enough to get shortlisted and called for an interview, congratulations, but don't panic. Nowadays, most interviews are more like casual chats with the employer, whether it's face-to-face or online. The most important thing to remember is to always prepare ahead. So do your research about the company, learn about them, read up on its latest news and happenings. Look at the job description and the job requirements that you're being interviewed for, and identify how you yourself can fit the job and what skills and experience that you can highlight during the interview to show them that you are a good match for the job. The other thing is to anticipate potential questions that they may ask you and prepare your answers, right? And practice them so that when they do ask, you're familiar with how to answer them. And also remember to prepare some questions to ask them at the end of the interview, so that when they ask, do you have questions for me? You have some ready already. And of course, it goes without saying, but do dress your best for the interview. And if it's a face-to-face meeting, plan and test your route, get there early. If it's a virtual meeting, test the video application like Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams. Test it ahead of time to avoid last-minute technical issues. During the interview, remember to listen to the questions and provide concise but sufficiently descriptive answers. Always make sure that you're answering the question. Now, I know that, as the older we get, the more stories we have and we want to share. But always remember that, sometimes the employer is short of time. So you want to be able to answer the question, but still provide enough description, but perhaps not spend so much time telling the whole long story. Remember that eye contact is important. So always look the interviewer when you're talking to them. Remember to smile, be yourself. And after the interview, it is good practice to follow up with an email or a WhatsApp to thank them for their time so that they remember you a little bit better. So if you're looking for interview tips, you can also visit our website at higherseniors.my, where we provide face-to-face interview tips or online interview tips, as well as some interview do's and don'ts. So assuming you do get the job, well done. Now, a lot of people always think the interview is the hardest part. But actually, from our experience, the hardest part is actually adapting to your new work environment. And why do we say this? We have seen many candidates get accepted into a company. They start work and they realize that they have actually a lot of difficulties adapting to the work culture and the environment. The key thing to note is that the work environment today may be different from what you were used to before. You're going to have younger colleagues that do things differently. They think differently, and they may have different expectations from you. You may have come from years of being, the boss or being someone in a very senior management position. And now suddenly you have to report to someone younger and less experienced than you. And, that could be tough for some. So the key thing is to remember, to keep an open mind, be open to the new work cultures, the new experiences, the new ways of doing things. Be open to learning from your younger colleagues. Remember that, you can learn from them in the same way they can learn from you. It is a two-way street. And when you're faced with something that, you're not entirely familiar with, there's no shame in asking. Just ask, and that's the best way to learn. With time, practice makes perfect. And, if you're unfamiliar with, say, new technology that they're using, again, ask. And just keep trying and practicing, and eventually it'll become easier as you become more and more familiar. The key thing is to remember to stay resilient. Don't give up, and eventually you will adapt to the new environment. As Steve Jobs once said, never let go of your appetite to go after new ideas, new experiences, and new adventures. This is what keeps us all alive. Now, speaking of new adventures, I just want to share that Higher Seniors is also embarking on a new adventure ourselves. This is something that we're super excited about, and I would like to share this with you. So we are going beyond employment as we realize that there's so many other areas of interest that are relevant for seniors today. So we're launching a new platform called Amazing Seniors, specifically for adults aged 50 and above. It'll bring, together all things catering to the needs and interests of mature adults. So it'll list products, services, amazing deals that is just for seniors. You'll be able to attend events and talks on subjects relating to your needs. You'll also be able to read news and information curated specifically around topics relating to seniors, and you'll be able to connect and ask questions to the largest seniors community out there. We are launching this, in October, so look out for it. And we're very fortunate, we've got many organizations that are already on board with us and believe in what we do. So we're very excited and we're looking forward to having you guys join us on that. We're already on Facebook, so just search for Amazing Seniors and follow us for updates. So with that, thank you very much for your time and for having me present to you today. Thank you.